Oatmeal, it's 9 a.m. Why are we taking a nap right now? We're trying to film a video. What about a treat? Oh, that gets you to move over, doesn't it? Hi, hello, good morning. My name is Adria. This is Oatmeal. I got him when I was 21 and I did not think through that decision before I did it. Here are some things that nobody tells you about getting a dog in your 20s. We're gonna have some fun and start out with the cons. Con number one of having a dog in your 20s. You have a lot less spontaneity? You can be less spontaneous when you have a dog in your 20s. There we go. For example, if your friend texts you and says, hey, I have an extra ticket to this festival this weekend, you can't immediately say yes without figuring out a plan for what you're gonna do with your dog that weekend. And also, it can be expensive to have someone watch your dog, especially if it's for a weekend or overnight. That leads me into my second con, which is they're very expensive. I have been through times where money is tight. I am shopping at a budget grocery store, but Oatmeal still has to eat his $70 a month prescription dog food for his weight and joint support. And I'm happy to do it because I love him with my whole heart. It can be a pretty big expense. And that's not even considering the unexpected vet bills. You could wake up one morning and your dog could have eaten a screwdriver. Then you have to take them to the vet and it's a couple grand to get that screwdriver removed from their stomach. That's obviously a very exaggerated example, although I'm sure that's happened. All that to say, having a dog in your 20s, I guess, does give you some spontaneity, but it's just the spontaneity of vet bills, which is the least fun version of spontaneity. Spontaneity, I still don't know if I'm saying that right. It's an easy thing to look up. I'm not going to. Let's talk about the third con of owning you, which is I feel guilty whenever I stay out late because I know that he is sitting by the door waiting for me to come home. So if you want to go out with your friends and go to a bar and have a night out, you can do that, but at least for me, I can't turn off the part of my brain that's like, Oatmeal's home alone right now, watching dog TV, and he's so lonely, and I want to go home and I want to pet him. The guilt is real. Con number 4. Housing options shrink, especially if you have a large dog, and double especially if you have a dog that is labeled as an aggressive breed. I don't agree with the whole aggressive dog list thing because I have met some very sweet pit bulls. I have met some very sweet Rottweilers. I have met some very angry doodles though. Obviously, it's gonna be easier if you have a smaller dog because a lot of apartments and houses do have a weight restriction. Like if you go on Zillow and you try to find a place to live, if you select allows large dog for the filter, half of your options are gonna disappear. Next up, dating gets weirder. Some people don't like dogs. Some people are allergic. If you date me, you date my dog. You need to like him. So obviously that's gonna shrink my dating pool. I think it shrinks it for the better, but it is gonna be an extra barrier, especially if you're dating someone and they live somewhere that doesn't allow dogs and then you can't bring them over there and you have to coordinate pet care. It can be a little bit more complicated. That being said, obviously the right person won't have an issue with it. My ex used to say that I would be too overprotective of Oatmeal because I refused to let him drive Oatmeal around in San Francisco without him being in his crate. Because big cities, what if he gets in a car accident? Like I need him to be protected in his crate. Obviously, if you don't understand that, we're not gonna be compatible. Just another thing to think about. Obviously in your 20s, you might be dating. It can complicate things a little bit. I think it complicates things for the better. Next up, having a dog in your 20s means that you do lose some independence. This kind of goes hand in hand with losing spontaneity, whatever pronunciation of that. I don't know. But I think your 20s are an era of your life where you have more independence than you would expect to have later in life, especially if you don't have kids, if you're not married. I love my independence, but I can't just make decisions for myself without considering him. I wouldn't want to because he's the light of my life and I love him so much, but you can't just think about only yourself. I have to always consider him. Wouldn't have it any other way. Love this man, but it kind of does take away that independence that you might really value in your 20s. The last con is that it's emotionally hard knowing that their lifespan is so much shorter than yours. I have grieved Oatmeal's death as long as I've known him. Like sometimes when I'm falling asleep at night and he's laying down next to me, I'll just think about like how I'm not always gonna have this and it'll like make me tear up. It's really sad knowing that he's not gonna be here to see me through for the rest of my life. He's been a part of this very tumultuous journey, which has been my 20s and has honestly been one of the main things that has gotten me through it. And it just sucks knowing that like I'm gonna have to keep living without him. It's an unavoidable truth, but it is hard knowing that he won't live forever. Okay, those are all of the cons. Now let's get into the pros of having a dog in your 20s. First, it helps you keep a routine when life gets chaotic. Your 20s are the most chaotic period of your life. I know I haven't experienced the older decades yet, but I just can't imagine a more tumultuous decade. At least for me, I went from being in college to moving to a new city, moving back to my hometown, living with my parents. I'm constantly just bouncing around from place to place, and it can feel very dysregulating. But knowing that every single day we have to take a walk, I have to give him his joint supplements at dinner, we have this built-in routine that no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, we have to do. And that's very grounding. It can be annoying, obviously, being like, I've just had a long day, I don't want to take him for a walk. But as soon as I'm out on that walk, I feel a million times better. I am not the kind of person to just go outside and take a walk by myself. Like, that's so low on the list of activities that I would choose to do for myself. But I do it every single day because he needs his exercise. I mean, to be honest, he really doesn't like walks either. I kind of have to beg him to go on them with me, but they're good for both of us. I think we both feel better after we're done with them. And there's been various points in my 20s where I've just broken down because I'm like, I can't manage my life. But then I always come back to, well, at least I can manage this creature's life, and that's good enough for me. And managing his life and his grooming schedule and everything has made me more confident to be able to manage my own life and build my own routines and my own schedule. So it's good training for being an adult. You have to grow up very quickly when you're responsible for another living, breathing creature who grunts at you when you don't give him a piece of your dinner. Like, he's a fully conscious being, and I'm responsible for keeping him alive. That's a lot on my shoulders. I love having that responsibility though. I wouldn't have it any other way. The next pro, you always have a best friend. This guy, my ride or die. I love just taking him places, going on hikes, taking him to the beach, taking him, like, all of these places are so much more fun when he's with me. And in your 20s, again, maybe you're moving around a lot, maybe you have some friendship breakups. You can't always guarantee that you're gonna have a friend, but if you have a dog, you do. I fully talk to him like he's a person, and I think he understands me. At least I tell myself he does. The third pro is that it teaches you patience. This is kind of a con because it can be annoying lessons that you have to learn, but having to train a puppy, that will break you. Oatmeal was an evil puppy. I cannot emphasize this enough. He was hard to train, but I was patient with him. I was consistent, and now he's an angel. Seeing that payoff of all of the time and effort that I put into making him a good dog is beautiful. The next pro, it makes any new city feel like home. In your 20s, you might be moving around because you have a new job, you might want to try living in a new city, whatever. It's common to kind of bop around from place to place, and it can be hard moving to a new city and not having a support system, not knowing anyone, not having friends there. But you always have your dog to come home to. It's this comfort and familiarity. Words are hard for me to pronounce. Familiarity. You know what I mean. That's built in. Wherever you go, no matter what you're doing, you always have something that feels like home. The next pro, they really do provide emotional support. Have you ever cried into your dog's fur? He's absorbent. He dries my tears. There is no better feeling when you're just crying and your dog comes and cuddles up next to you. You instantly feel better, or it makes you cry harder. But again, they're very absorbent and you can just cry into them. Another pro is that you get to grow up alongside them. I look back to who I was when I was 21 when I got Oatmeal. I was a baby. He was a puppy. In the 7 years since then, we have both grown up so much. We have done so many things together. We've shared memories that no one else can understand. We've gone on adventures. We've moved. We've traveled. We've done all of these amazing, cool things. It's cool to be able to know all of these different versions of each other, if that makes sense. The last pro is that having a dog in your 20s can help you build community. It can help you make friends. Whether you're taking them to a dog park, you're walking them around the neighborhood, it's a reason to stop and talk to people, especially if they also have a dog. And we know how hard it can be to make friends as an adult. This gives you something with other people that you have in common, a built-in activity to do. You guys can take your dogs on walks together. That's so cool. And that's just like a nice, healthy foundation for a friendship to bloom over. I have made so many friends because of Oatmeal. I am actually a very introverted person, especially when I'm out in public. It's hard for me to put myself out there and make friends, but when I have him with me, I feel more confident to say to someone, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute. What's their name? Strike up a conversation that I otherwise wouldn't have done if I didn't have a dog. So those are all of my pros and cons of having a dog in your 20s. All that being said, Do I think it's worth it to have a dog in your 20s? 100% yes. There are some things that you might miss out on, but what you're gonna gain from it, times that by 10. Like in this video, I have given you an equal amount of pros and cons to getting a dog in your 20s. It is my belief that the pros outweigh the cons, because there's even pros in the cons. Having a dog in your 20s forces you to grow up. You can't stay in this version of yourself where you're selfish and you only think about yourself and you're going out all night with friends and you have a living, breathing creature that you're responsible for, that you love with your entire heart. That makes you want to be a better person. That makes you want to grow up. It is an invaluable experience. It is a lot of work. It can be frustrating on days, but I couldn't imagine having it any other way. I'm so grateful for Oatmeal. He is my ride or die. He is my best friend. I love him. And I'm so grateful that I've gotten to go on the journey of my 20s with him. I can't wait to go on the journey of my 30s, 40s, and 50s with him too, because he's gonna live forever, right? Right? Okay, anyways, this has been a long-winded ramble, but thank you very much for watching and listening, and I hope this was helpful. And if you had a dog in your 20s, I'm very curious, do you agree with my pros and cons? Are there any that I miss? And if you are in your early 20s and you're thinking about getting a dog, was this helpful? Did this make you decide to or not? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious. I'll be reading them. But thank you so much for watching. Oatmeal, do you want to rejoin the conversation to say goodbye? What if I get a treat? Oh, there he is. Oh, you have an eye booger. Wipe it on your head. Okay. Thank you so much for watching.